everyone. It is a Tuesday. It is Tuesday, February 10th. I'm your host, Tim Dennis, and this is True Crime Tuesday. And we're going to do things a little bit differently today. We don't have a regular guest for a reason. It is Valentine's week. So we're going to do things a little different. We're going to have a Crimes of Passion segment. In other words, we're going to tell you about love gone wrong today. So I'm going to bring in my co-host today. So ladies and gentlemen, here she is. The object of a lot of your affections, but you can never have her. Oh no. She's intelligent. She's witty. She's quite creative, as a matter of fact. She has not one, not two, not three, but a zillion books out there due to her publisher not being able to count and wanting more of her than you could ever have. Ladies and gentlemen, here she is. By the way, she's broken Binder's heart as well. The keeper of the charts over there at the Hindustan Times, who says, please have mercy on me, oh dominatrix of the charts over here at the Hindustan Times. I can only keep up with so many books that you publish because you've dominated. You're in all places here in the Hindustan Times charts. So Binder sends his love and affection on Valentine's Day. Here she is, Jessica Freeburg. Jess, how you doing?
Hey, I'm good. Your introductions, I swear.
I know, they're getting longer and longer. People are like, just cut it back already. Just say who it is and let's get on with the program.
Yeah, she writes books, whatever, move on. Although you threw dominatrix in there again. So
I did, yeah.
That's pretty funny. And on Valentine's week, I'm not going to complain.
No, well, I had to. It's the love theme, right? You got to. Or the passion, crimes of passion. Yeah, I don't know.
Crimes of passion, yeah.
Something like that. Yeah.
Crimes of passion.
In between love and domination, there's something in there. I'm not quite sure. Yeah.
I love you, but I'm going to whip you.
That's right. Love me, beat me, make me do tricks. I don't know. Something like that. Yeah. Well, you know, some people celebrate Valentine's Day with love. Some people celebrate it in other ways. We're not judging. We don't judge
That's
on this
right.
show. That's right.
You do you.
You do you. Well, and some people may be doing themselves on Valentine's Day. That's just how it goes. But I digress. I don't have my rim shot up here, do I? No, I don't. Anywho. I said rim shot, made myself laugh. Oh, boy. We're getting off to a bad
What
start.
are we, 30 seconds in, and we're already going off the rails?
We are, yes. So Crimes of Passion today, how this works is we've got a few cases we're going to detail here today. We're going to start it off, of course, with the St. Valentine's Day Massacre, and then we're going to work our way to current day. You may be familiar with the St. Valentine's Day Massacre, which, of course, was a gangland slaying. But then we'll work our way to modern-day murders and crimes of passion. Of course, there's nothing funny in this segment. We're not going to laugh our way through this segment, but we will get to dumb crime, stupid criminals, of course, and lighten things up at the back end of today's show. So, St. Valentine's Day Massacre, which is, of course, the most famous of all Valentine's Day crimes. And there's no crime of passion here, but to give you an idea, the St. Valentine's Day Massacre, of course, occurred on February 14th of 1929. And, of course, it happened in Chicago and is a notorious event in organized crime history. On that day, 7 men were brutally murdered by assailants posing as police officers at a garage linked to the North Side gang led by George Bugs Moran. The massacre is widely believed to have been orchestrated by rival gangster Al Capone, who sought to eliminate Moran and consolidate control over the city's bootlegging operation during Prohibition. The violent incident highlighted the fierce rivalry between the North Side and the South Side gangs, which were embroiled in a bloody power struggle throughout the 1920s. The attack involved a group of men who entered the garage under the pretense of conducting a police raid, executing the victims with submachine guns. Although initial suspicions pointed to corrupt police involvement, obviously with the police uniforms that were donned, evidence soon implicated Capone's gang. Notably, Bugs Moran narrowly escaped the massacre due to his late arrival. Despite investigations and indictments, including charges against Capone's associates, the case remained officially unsolved, with many details surrounding the massacre lingering in mystery. The St. Valentine's Day Massacre remained a significant event in understanding the violent landscape of organized crime in America during that era. Now, interestingly enough, when they got into the investigation of the St. Valentine's Day Massacre, people really did believe, Jess, that the shooting had been, in fact, perpetrated by corrupt police officers. They believed because
Really?
the police were corrupt at that time and were being paid off by the mob.
Right.
This was, for sure, corrupt police officers getting back at Capone for things that had happened during Prohibition that they hadn't gotten their cut. So they went after Bugs Moran, which is an interesting thought.
I mean, it's definitely a theory. I could buy it.
Capone, by the way, was vacationing in Florida at the time of the shooting and likely wanted Moran dead for a number of reasons, including his interference with Capone's bootlegging and dog racing operations and role in the attempted murder of Jack McGurn, who comes up here in just a bit because there's a connected murder here, which happened February 14th, 7 years later. McGurn gets knocked off exactly 7 years later for his role in this.
On Valentine's Day too, huh?
On Valentine's Day too. This is how the mob sends their message. They make it known.
A very bloody holiday for them.
Yes, it is. Capone, by the way, McGurn is Capone's primary enforcer here. The Cadillac that was used by the killers was partially burned in a garage fire on February 22nd. And Claude Maddox, who is a gang member and good friend of McGurn, had been seen in the vicinity of the garage beforehand. Now, the police detained several suspects, including McGurn and other Capone gang members. McGurn and John Scalise, another Capone gunman, were indicted in mid-March of 1929 for the massacre. Scalise was murdered before his trial. McGurn's future wife, Louise Rolfe, provided him with an alibi. Said he wasn't anywhere near the place. Yeah.
Or she would. That's her job.
Charges against McGurn were eventually dropped, and he was charged with a lesser unrelated crime. In December, police in Michigan raided the home of Fred Burke, another Capone gang member, after he killed a police officer. Not killed by, but he killed a police officer. Several firearms were recovered, including 2 Thompson submachine guns that ballistic expert Calvin Goddard later identified as the weapons used in the massacre. Burke would be apprehended in 1931 and would not be extradited to Illinois or charged to his suspected role in the massacre. The case remained officially unsolved into the 1930s. Now, I mentioned that there was impact 7 years later, which interestingly, and I'm going to show you some gruesome photos here if you're watching on video here. So, Jess, take a look at that.
Ooh.
That is the bloody body of Jack McGurn.
Oh, no.
Yeah. Jack McGurn got it 7 years later, February 14th, 1936. And he got caught up while he was bowling.
He was at the bowling alley?
He was at the bowling alley. Yeah.
Dad, he was dressed in such a nice suit.
Yeah, well, most gangsters dressed pretty nicely back in the day. But he was dressed up pretty nicely for bowling, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, McGurn, as we mentioned, worked as a lieutenant for Al Capone and got Capone's financial backing and orchestrated that hit in 1929. At the time of his death, it raised a lot of conspiracy that he was machine gunned down by 3 hitmen at this bowling alley, who were said to be the Northside gang members who were acting in retaliation for that St. Valentine's Day massacre of 1929. One of the gunmen is believed to have been James Gusenberg, who was the brother of Frank and Pete, who I think were hit in 1929. Okay, so revenge motive, right? McGurn was in a bowling alley, which was located at 805 North Milwaukee Avenue in Chicago. This is the bowling alley to this day. Now, keep in mind, in Chicago, they don't just get rid of buildings.
Oh, is it still a bowling alley?
It's not still a bowling alley, but you can go there to this day. You can go to that building.
We should go.
I'm telling you.
Yeah.
Wouldn't that make an interesting investigation site?
Oh, yeah, it has to be haunted.
Yeah, right? 3 hitmen stormed that building. They rushed up to the second floor of 805 North Milwaukee Avenue, where the Avenue Recreation Bowling Alley was located. Can you imagine having a bowling alley on the second floor of a building and having to be underneath that
I was
floor.
gonna say, do you know how loud that would be down below?
Yeah. Yeah. Like you're trying to type and work on the first floor of a bowling alleys on the second floor. And they each fired machine guns at him at close range. That's the other thing I can't imagine. You're just hanging out, you're bowling, you're having a good time, and you get hit at close range by 3 machine guns. Here's the other part of it.
You're done.
You're done, right? Pretty much.
Yeah.
Here's the other part, Jess. He never turned around, so he never saw what was coming.
Yeah. Taking him by surprise. He was probably focused. He was thinking about getting a strike.
Right. He's probably either that or he's thinking about picking up the spare, and then you get hit from behind, 3 machine guns. So the picture you saw of Jack McGurn on his back he was probably laid out by someone after he got hit. He had to have fallen forward.
Yeah, you would think so. That would make the most sense.
Yeah. Now, from the photos, it looks like McGurn was hit from the back by the gun spray and then ended up lying on his back after he died. It doesn't look like there's any shots that entered his body from the front with no marks to his face. That's kind of important in mob lore. You don't ever want to mark up your face.
You don't shoot him in the face, huh?
That's right. You want a good burial. If this is the case, he wouldn't have had any chance, especially most likely he didn't see his hitman until the last minute, or if he did at all. Even if he was facing the gunman, 3 weren't very good odds, that's for sure, if he had a chance at all. Again, it was the 7th anniversary of the massacre. So down goes Jack McGurn, who supposedly plotted the St. Valentine's Day massacre. Interesting. In the end, everyone gets theirs.
They certainly do. And I did a little research on that back when I was writing about the Eastern State Penitentiary hauntings because of the St. Valentine's Day massacre, Al Capone was supposedly haunted by James Clark, who was one of the victims in the massacre. So that's one of the hauntings you probably know that because I think you've been there, right?
Yeah. Yep.
So
I've investigated it.
I just find that so fascinating. Like he's in there screaming at Jimmy, get away from me.
Yep. Yeah. Now, do you believe that was a haunting or do you think that was a syphilis?
Hard to say. I know he had that going on as well.
Mm-hmm.
So it's possible that it could have just been a good old syphilis.
Yeah, you never know.
In his brain. But
you never know.
I like the ghost story of it.
I do too. That's for sure.
It's way more fun than syphilis.
It is way more fun than syphilis. Well, you're right. It is way more fun than syphilis. That's for sure.
I'll take a ghost story over syphilis any day, Tim.
Well, I think most of us would, Jess. That's very Valentine's Day related, isn't it? I'll take a ghost story over syphilis any day. Our next crime of passion happens with Patricia Mann, who's 20 years old at the time, and Jesse Allen McBain, who's 18. It happens on February 12th of 1971. Both were found brutally murdered in the woods of Orange County, North Carolina. The murders are known as the Valentine's Day murders and have to this day never been solved. Police have permanently reopened the investigation since 2011, which is unusual. Patricia Ann Mann, the youngest of 4 children, was a nursing student from Sanford, North Carolina, doing her residential training at Watts Hospital in Durham. Jesse Allen McBain was a North Carolina State University athletic student from Pittsburgh in his freshman year. The couple started dating in high school and got engaged weeks before the murders. On February 12th of 1971, Mann and McBain left a Valentine's Day dance that they attended together at Watts Hospital. Mann, accompanied by McBain, signed out of her dorm and planned to return by curfew. Their families and Mann's roommates went to police when they didn't return that night. On February 16th, McBain's friend found the car that the couple had left at a lover's lane at Wayside Place. 2 coats and Mann's folded pantyhose were found inside the car. So a little bit of activity that night. On February 24th, a surveyor in Duke Woods, 3 miles away from the lane, found Mann and McBain dead, tied to a tree and covered in leaves and debris. Their cause of death was determined at that point to be asphyxiation from ropes being repeatedly tightened and released around each of their necks. Mud on their shoes indicated that they were alive for the extent of the violence, which was estimated to have lasted some hours before the couple died. Examinations also revealed that they had multiple stab wounds to their chests, which were post-mortem, and man's liver was ruptured from what was determined to be a punch to her stomach. Now, with the investigation in 1971, Tim Bowers of the Durham Police Department solicited New York criminal psychologist Dr. James Brussel to create a profile of the killer. Multiple agencies became involved in the case, including the Orange County Sheriff's Office, Durham Sheriff's Office, the North Carolina State Bureau of Investigation, and the North Carolina Department of Motor Vehicles. The case soon went cold in part due to difficulties in collaborative efforts between the agencies, according to statements made by the Orange County Sheriff's Office in 2018. In 1972, another couple was attacked by a gunman who tried to kidnap them in Duke Forest by forcing them into the trunk of his car. The man fought the attacker, who pistol whipped him and left him with lasting nerve damage. The couple escaped and the assailant fled. A composite sketch of the suspect was then developed. Between 2011 and 2018, the Orange County Sheriff's Office kept the case open. The department attempted to collect DNA from the crime scene evidence of which was available, but no viable samples for testing against suspects was recovered. In 2018, writer and filmmaker Eric Pruitt and journalist Drew Adamak collaborated to release a podcast based on this, which focused on the lives of Mann and McBain, as well as Pruitt releasing a thriller novel called Something Bad Wrong, which fictionalizes stories of the murders of Mann and McBain. So,
just sad when they were such cute kids too.
Yeah. It's a sad story indeed, and whether that other case ties in or not to Mann and McBain is unknown. But I mean, a sad story indeed for both, and a sad end for both indeed. Our next crime of passion has to do with a mom and two children who were strangled to death in 1985. Cassandra Rundle and her two children, 12-year-old Dietrich and 10-year-old Melanie, were found dead in the 37-year-old's home. Officers are, to this day, still needing help solving the murder of a 37-year-old mother, Cassandra Rundle, and her two children who were found dead in their Colorado Springs home in 1985. Officers responded to Rundle's home on February 14th of 1985 and found Rundle, 12-year-old Dietrich, and Dietrich Sturm is his full name, and 10-year-old Melanie Sturm dead inside, according to the Colorado Springs Police Department. All three victims were strangled to death, according to the El Paso County Coroner's Office. They also determined Rundle and her daughter were sexually assaulted. Investigators said they have not developed any substantive leads, despite hundreds of interviews with witnesses, potential witnesses, and persons of interest. This crime emotionally crippled not only the family members of the beloved victims, but the family's neighborhood and the entire community, CSPD said in a statement. Anyone with information is urged to contact CSPD cold case detectives at 719-444-7000. You can also remain anonymous by submitting tips through Pikes Peak Area Crime Stoppers. You're also eligible for a reward as well. You can contact them at 719-634-7867, or you can submit tips online as well. Another sad story having to do with another killing on Valentine's Day. Our next story has to do with a couple that was killed, two Columbine students killed at a Subway shop, like Subway sandwich shop.
Oh, no.
Yeah. And this happened, I believe it was 26 years ago. What was the year on this? Yeah, I believe it was 26 years ago. I think this was in the year 2000. Stephanie Hart Grizel drove to a Subway on Coal Mine Avenue to wait for her boyfriend, Nick Kunzelman, I believe, who was finishing his shift at the sandwich shop. The two teenagers were students at Columbine High School and were less than a year earlier, 12 of their classmates. So this had happened less than a year after the Columbine shooting. Where less than a year earlier, 12 of their classmates and a teacher had been killed in a mass shooting. But the high school sweethearts weathered the aftermath together, according to family members, and were a happy young couple. On the night that Stephanie went to the subway to wait for Nick, another employee was driving past the restaurant after midnight and noticed that the lights were still on. The employee went inside early on the morning of February 14th, 2000, and found Stephanie and Nick shot to death behind the counter. More than 2 decades later, their murders remained unsolved, and authorities announced the reward for information in the case had been up to $60,000. A few credible leads surfaced in the case. Investigators released a description of the suspect, who is a white male, 16 to 20 years old, about 5'7" and 150 to 170 pounds, with blondish hair. Those details resulted in tips from across the country, and several confessions after the murders gained national attention. But those tips eventually fizzled out, and confessions were false. When suspicions arose that a drug ring was operating out of the subway shop, investigators conducted interviews in more than 50 drug cases, but no new evidence turned up. Just a few other tidbits about the story. In 2017, the victims' families and friends spoke with Denver 7 about the young couple the night that they were killed, and the pain the lengthy unsolved investigation brought upon them. 16-year-old Stephanie and 15-year-old Nick met in middle school, where they became fast friends. After the Columbine shooting in April of 1999, they became even closer, said Stephanie's mother, Kelly. Although they had just gone through the tragedy at the high school, they were coming through it so good, and they were so happy, Kelly Grizel said. We just really felt like that might be the last hard thing that they would ever go through, she went on to say. But the shooting at the subway shop happened just 10 months later. That night, Stephanie had sneaked out of her home to drive to the subway shop where Nick was working, just a few blocks south of Columbine High. The last thing I said to her was, "Good night, I love you," Kelly said. I'll never forget that. When Kelly Grizel woke up the next morning, she turned on the TV and saw the news. 2 people had been killed at the subway shop in Littleton. The camera showed the parking lot, and Kelly noticed her daughter's car. I still didn't know why her car was there, but I had no idea that it could be her, Kelly said. I was very worried. The police then arrived at her house. It was just awful, Kelly told Denver 7. I can remember somebody saying, "Is this the mother?" And you can't imagine. You're hoping there's somebody standing behind you, or that they're not really looking at you, or that you're dreaming. She assumed that the case would be solved within days, but then the investigation dragged on, going nowhere for weeks, and then months, and then years. Investigators have tested the scant DNA evidence from the crime scene, but nothing came of it. In 2017, the young couple's friends spoke about the difficulty of not knowing why the teens were murdered. It's just hard because they were so young, and we just don't understand, said Amanda Williams, a close friend of Stephanie and Nick. Going through Columbine and then having to kind of relive all these bad things, we had to do it all over, she went on to say. Anyone with information about the murders is asked to contact Metro Denver Crime Stoppers at 720-913-STOP or submit a tip online. Another sad story.
Yeah, that one's rough.
Yeah, that is
that
a rough
poor
one.
mom.
Yeah. All right. Next one, and then we'll take a break, and we'll continue with our Crimes of Passion segment here, has to do with Daniel Coverston, whose murder is unsolved from 2009. More than 15 years has passed. Well, of course, that'd be 17 years now. But the pain remains fresh for the family of Daniel Coverston, who's a Towson University graduate who was found murdered in his apartment on Valentine's Day in 2009. On Friday, February 14th, Baltimore County Police issued a renewed call for information about, and this was 2 years ago, a renewed call for information about the cold case killing to come forward, hoping the anniversary would inspire someone to break their silence. Coverston, who was 22 at the time, was found shot in the head in his apartment on Lockland Circle around 2:50 p.m. on February 14th, 2009. His body laying face down, just as his doctor had instructed after recent eye surgery. So he was doing everything he could to recover. His door had been left unlocked so friends could check in on him. 15 years later, his family is still searching for answers, believing that someone from Towson University may hold the key to solving his murder. Dan was just a good guy, his parents said. I think eventually we will know. How soon? Well, I hope it's soon, they went on to say. Baltimore County Police Department says, in some ways, I'd like to talk with the person, his mother said. I'd like to be a person who leads them in a different way, she went on to say as well. Police said that even the smallest detail could make all the difference, urging anyone with information to call the Baltimore County Homicide Department.
So she wants to help them have a better life.
Yeah. Maybe even make better choices. Yeah.
What a good human.
Yeah, that's for sure. All right. When we come back, we'll talk about true crimes of passion for Valentine's Day lovers' quarrels that turn deadly.
Yikes.
Yeah. And why it's probably better to be single on Valentine's Day.
I just told my daughter the other day, just be your own Valentine's, then you won't be disappointed.
Wow.
That's my advice.
Wow. That, yikes. What did hubby say when you said that? Did he shirk a little bit?
No? I was just joking with her.
Oh, all right. And then we've got Dumb Crimes, Stupid Criminals on the way as well. And quite a shocker in the not safe for work. That may back up. It may back up that last statement, Jess. We'll put it that way.
I can't wait.
Yeah. All right. It's all coming up next. Right here on Crimes and Passion and Dumb Crimes, Stupid Criminals right here on the best in true crime podcasting. This is True Crime Tuesday. Welcome back to the best in true crime podcasting. This is True Crime Tuesday. I'm your host, Tim Dennis, along with my co-host, Jessica Freeburg. We're talking crimes of passion on this Valentine's Day week. I guess it's appropriate. Maybe it's inappropriate.
We got to talk about crime, so it just makes sense.
I guess it's somewhat appropriate, inappropriate / inappropriate. Let's talk about love gone wrong, I guess, Jess, right? It's about the only thing we can do at this point. I mean, not all relationships are perfect, right?
Love gone really wrong if we're talking about it in this segment.
Right. And we don't mean to make light of it. I mean, folks, let's do a bit of a disclaimer here, if we can, for a second. We don't make light of domestic assault.
Heavens,
no. And the following stories may be a bit triggering to some people because they do involve domestic disputes and assaults. So these cases do involve those domestic assaults. So just a forewarning that these stories do involve that. So beware. And those stories are very sad indeed. And we do want to remind you again that if you're in a situation like that, to reach out and get help. And to never be afraid to reach out and get help, and to do it in the appropriate context, to reach out to someone and ask for help quickly before it escalates, because it never ends well.
No.
So please, if you're in an abusive situation, reach out and get that appropriate help. All right. Let me pull up our first story here. And again, these are stories of sensitive nature. So if you are of a sensitive nature having to do with domestic assault stories, then I suggest you scrub forward into the file where we get to Dumb Crimes, Stupid Criminals. We'll lighten things up for you there a little bit. Our first story has to do with the murder of Tara Grant, who is in Washington Township, Michigan. Stephen Grant and his wife Tara had a seemingly peaceful marriage until Tara's disappearance in February of 2007. Grant called police to report his wife missing on February 14th, saying she had left their home 5 days earlier. When Tara's torso was found a few weeks later in the family garage, Stephen immediately became a suspect. Family and friends were stunned by the murder, which none of them saw coming. Although initially maintaining his innocence, Stephen soon admitted to the gruesome murder. After choking Tara to death, he cut up her corpse in his industrial shop in an effort to get rid of it.
Oh my goodness. He didn't take it very far if it was in his garage.
Right. I don't get people that can take a loved one and do that kind of act. I just don't.
I mean, no, especially not. I mean, anyone. Like, I don't know how you could do that to anyone.
Right.
But especially the mother of your children.
Right.
Like,
yeah.
How cracked is your mind if you're doing that?
Right. Stephen Grant was found guilty of second-degree murder, only second degree, and sentenced to I guess because first is premeditated. They didn't think it was potentially premeditated, that it was a crime of passion. And sentenced to a minimum of 50 years in prison, which to me, again, isn't enough.
No, I mean, okay, so maybe he wasn't planning the murder, but he definitely planned on chopping her into bits. Like, there should be some added, like, that should just be life right there. If you chop someone into pieces, sorry.
Yeah.
Not a lot of compassion for that action.
Right. Well, some murders appear to come out of nowhere. Most are preceded by a long history of violence or threatening behavior, says Dr. Paul Squeak, director of the University of Illinois Chicago's Interdisciplinary Center for Research or Violence. Most of the time we see a cycle of violence. The spouse is violent, but then he shows remorse, or there's a honeymoon period, he says. Then the tension builds up in the relationship until there's another incident, and the cycle repeats itself tens or hundreds of times. Still, though, I mean, my God,
Yeah, how do you escalate to that? I mean, I suppose he just panicked and was like, now what?
Yeah. Now, but to escalate that quickly is just, and that violently. My brain doesn't go there,
No, it's really hard to listen to these stories because it is just like you try to make sense of something that literally makes no sense.
Right. Our next story has to do with Gregory M. Stack, who perished at the hands of Don Dixon Bay, who is let me tell you how he perished first, and then we'll get to eventually what happened to Don Dixon Bay. The controversy arose in the case of Don Dixon Bay, who in 2016 was convicted by a jury of second-degree murder for fatally stabbing her then-boyfriend, Gregory M. Stack, twice in the heart while he was lying on the couch. In closing arguments, the prosecutors asked the jury to find the defendant guilty of first-degree murder. I wanted to get to the actual story of what happened, but I'll read the sentencing part of it, because the sentencing part of it is interesting. A circuit court judge. This is how appalled the judge was at what happened to Gregory M. Stack, who was essentially killed in cold blood. I believe I have the story of Stack here. On February 14th, 2015, Dawn Dixon Bay of Jackson, Michigan, stabbed her boyfriend Gregory M. Stack twice in the chest, landing both blows through his heart and killing him instantly. She claimed the murder was in self-defense at the time. Stack's body showed no defensive wounds and was found lying in front of his couch, suggesting that he was asleep or lying down during the attack. So he wasn't defending him, or he wasn't going after her at all. She wasn't.
No, you would naturally do something to protect yourself if someone's stabbing at your heart.
Right. Dixon Bay's motive. Her defense claimed that Stack had long been abusive toward her and that he threw a dog cage at her before her attack. Dixon Bay was convicted of second-degree murder in 2015. I'll tell you a bit about what the judge said here in a second. He was so appalled by her, it was quite alarming. Let me read that real quick, because the judge's comments are amazing, to say the least. The judge ordered. Well, here, I'll just read it outright. Under Michigan law, second-degree murder is defined as killing that is not premeditated, but was the result of actions that were either intentional, reckless, or spur of the moment. Jackson County Circuit Judge John McBain sentenced Dixon Bay to 35 to 70 years in prison after the jury's verdict. In a 2-1 decision dating back to October of 2017, the Michigan Court of Appeals vacated McBain's sentence with the reasoning that 35 to 70 years in prison was an unreasonable departure from guidelines, which recommended between 12 to 20 years. So they said no. 35 to 70 was not appropriate. According to the appellate court's majority opinion, Judge McBain's initial sentencing emphasized the premeditated nature of the killing in departing from the guidelines by an additional 15 years, which a judge cannot do when the jury refused to convict the defendant on first-degree murder charges. The appellate panel then ordered McBain to re-sentence Dixon Bay in accordance with the guidelines. However, stating that he agreed with the lone dissent in the decision, an openly defiant McBain merely charged Dixon's sentence to 30 to 70 years. So he told the appellate court, screw you.
Right.
I'm still giving her 30 to 70. During Wednesday's video hearing in the matter, McBain said he was cognizantly taking into account the 12 to 20 year sentencing guideline, but otherwise was declining to abide by the higher court's order. He declared that the facts of the case justified his initial sentencing order. He said, I want to be clear. I absolutely would intend to sentence her at the very top ends of the range of 20 years, except that I just don't think that 20 years is an adequate sentence for this brutal premeditated murder. A visibly irritated McBain said, and I think I still consider that evidence of premeditation and deliberation, even though she didn't get convicted of it, but it was evidence before the court and jury. So therefore, I'm going to sentence the defendants to a sentence of 30 to 70 years. So there.
So he really thought, he thought she premeditated it, even though they didn't convict her of premeditating it. He was convinced.
Right. So the judge pretty much went rogue. He said, I don't care.
I wonder if that gives her room for appeals down the road, probably.
Oh, she said she planned to appeal it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which is interesting. In 2016, Judge McBain threw off his robe, leapt from the bench, and wrestled with a suspect who was resisting being placed in handcuffs.
Holy cow.
He's a bit of an ornery one. During that incident, the judge yelled at the court officer to tase his ass right now, and telling the defendant he was willing to bust your fucking arm. Pardon my language for that.
Wow.
Yeah. So Judge McBain doesn't mess around.
I really like this judge.
Yeah. So I figured I'd throw that in as an aside to this case.
I mean, he didn't just jump out and he took his robe off. He's like, it's go time.
Yeah, it was go time. So
it's on.
Yeah. So I figured I'd throw that one in for you.
Yeah. Thank you. A little levity to these stories. You made me laugh.
Yeah. There you go. Our next one is the murder of Michelle Gomez. Sometimes feelings of betrayal can intensify into violence when an ex-romantic partner starts to date again. After 17-year-old Michelle Gomez had her relationship end with her boyfriend, Jerry DeLeon, he confronted her angrily during a salon appointment on Valentine's Day of 2002. Overcome with jealousy, DeLeon approached Gomez while she was getting her hair done with her mother. In order to coax Gomez back into a relationship, when Gomez refused, DeLeon opened fire, killing Gomez before turning the gun on himself.
I hate that.
DeLeon's uncle, Julio Garcia, told the New York Daily News that his nephew was nice. It doesn't seem like it.
I mean, he might have been. I mean, people, they just lose their minds.
He also said, but he was very jealous. And although DeLeon had a history of violent, threatening behavior towards Gomez, she never pressed charges. But sadly, even women who file restraining orders after ending a relationship can be the victims of a violent attack. At the end of the day, it's just a piece of paper, said our contributing psychiatrist here, Dr. Schwu. It doesn't stop a bullet, he said. Women need to assess their risk for total or fatal injury. And once they decide to leave the relationship, they may have to disappear. And that's really hard to do, unfortunately.
Yeah, I think if somebody hits you and is violent with you, you have to assume that it could become deadly at some point.
Yeah, absolutely.
Really. I mean, you just have to assume that. And it is so sad because oftentimes these people, and it can be men or women, it can go both ways. They are very nice. They can be very charismatic, and they have like dual personalities. So as the victim, you love the nice part of them, and you want to fix the part that's mean.
Yeah.
But you can't.
Yeah, there's no excuse to put your hands on supposedly the person you love. There's no excuse.
No, never.
Yeah. Our next case has to do with the murder of Tamika Peterson. When one partner decides to end a relationship, the other might sometimes wrestle with feelings of betrayal, causing them to lash out. Such was the case with a West Palm Beach, Florida man. Gibson Paul shot and killed his girlfriend Tamika Peterson on Valentine's Day of 2011. Police say that Peterson had recently ended her relationship with Paul, was trying to avoid him when he fired the fatal shot that as she sat in her car with two friends and a young child. So there were other people in the car at the time. Paul was convicted of first-degree murder, aggravated assault, shooting into an occupied vehicle, and possession of a firearm by a convicted felon. He was sentenced to life in prison. Finally, somebody got the sentence they deserved.
Here they go.
Domestic violence is all about power and control, says our contributing psychiatrist. Sometimes when men feel a loss of power in the relationship, they resort to violence to try to regain that power. Men tend to be more violent in general, and they tend to use their physical size and strength to get what they want. Our next case is called the Bubble and Squeak case, which is an unusual name for a case. But the reason it's called that, Jess, is because it has to do with the entree that was served.
Oh, really?
In this particular murder case.
Oh, I'm fascinated.
The 66-year-old's stabbing of her husband, David Jackson, became a test of court's attitudes towards coercive control. Penelope Jackson was guilty of murder of stabbing her husband to death over dinner. It was a row with her husband over serving Bubble and Squeak during a birthday meal of lobster and champagne. Bubble and Squeak.
Hey, we were just talking about how you might like lobster to be your final meal.
Yeah, we were talking about final meals of inmates, right?
Before we came on here tonight.
I might like a little Bubble and Squeak if it were my last meal behind bars.
that could be your final. And I would take mashed potatoes and French fries and any type of potatoes that you might want to give me. A steak and some fried chicken. Oh, an apple pie.
An apple pie. There you go. So if Jess is ever incarcerated, folks, you know what to send her behind bars.
That will be my final meal.
That's
right. If I'm ever on death row.
There you go. So it was a little Bubble and Squeak that Penelope Jackson identified as the moment that broke her. She took a knife from the kitchen and stabbed David Jackson multiple times before handing herself into police. The details were among those aired in a trial that has captured the public imagination for its insight into the complex motives of a retired accountant who killed her husband of 24 years, a retired Army lieutenant colonel, at their home in Somerset Village.
Wow, I'm looking at pictures now, and I'm just like, they are the most normal looking, like grandma and grandpa you'd ever see.
As a matter of fact, here, I have a picture for everybody who's watching on video.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Don't they look like your average retired couple?
Yeah, they do.
Yeah.
Just a nice grandma and grandpa. They're going to take you out to Dairy Queen.
Yeah. Like they just got done. One of them just got done mowing the lawn. The other one just got done tending to the flower bed, and they went in for a nice meal, and she stabbed him. Yeah. I mean, it's just
so weird. Did she say like why?
We're getting to that. The trial was seen as a test of criminal courts' attitudes into claims of coercive control in domestic homicide cases. On Friday, in this article, Penelope Jackson, who was 66 at the time, was found guilty of murder at Bristol Crown Court. She had admitted manslaughter but denied murdering her husband, who was 78 years old at the time, on grounds that he had physically abused and coercively controlled her for years. The jury was asked to decide whether, despite a seemingly lucid admission to the police that she had killed him, years of feeling gradually coerced by emotional and physical abuse had resulted in Jackson losing control of herself that night. Jackson was represented by the prominent lawyer Claire Wade QC, who is also conducting a independent review for the government around the sentencing of domestic homicide. In a 2010 case, Wade obtained a manslaughter conviction for Sally Challen, who killed her husband after experiencing years of coercive control. Jackson's case centered on the evening of the 13th of February when the couple shared a celebratory meal with their daughter and her husband via a 4-hour Zoom call at their home in Barrow, Somerset. The daughter, Isabel Potterton, who's 31, said the atmosphere was initially lovely, but deteriorated when Jackson brought out a Bubble and Squeak side to go with the steak main course. That's a little champagne and lobster. I didn't know that. Bubble and Squeak.
I didn't either. I'm like, I still didn't understand what Bubble and Squeak was, but
Yeah, it's a little, I suppose because lobster make that noise. They're a little squeak noise.
Kind of adorable. I mean, if we weren't talking about murder.
Yeah. Prompting an argument over whether anyone wanted to eat it. That was the argument, whether anybody wanted to eat the lobster and champagne.
Yes, please.
Yeah, I'll take it. We don't need to kill anybody. You can send it over here. I'm good. Potterton, who is Jackson's child from a previous marriage, but was raised by the couple, said she was used to her stubborn but hot-tempered parents bickering regularly. I rolled my eyes and thought they're just being silly. Shortly after ending the call, Potterton received a strange text message from her mother, which read, "If it all goes tits, you have this message. I love you to the ends of the earth."
Oh, that's kind of like she was planning it.
Yeah. She rang to check to see if she was okay and was told that she was. But later that evening, Jackson took a kitchen knife to her bedroom, initially as self-defense, she told the trial. She later said she considered using it to kill herself and walked into her husband's bedroom to tell him that. She told the court, "I wanted him to say, 'I'm sorry, Penn.' He didn't. He just said, 'For God's sakes, you're pathetic.'"
Oh, no, that was not the right answer.
Right. That was the moment when she lost it, she told jurors. She said, "I just thought, I can't do this. It's not fair, and I lost control." After the incident, she calmly told the police she was just compos mentis and was prepared to confess. She said that he goaded her. Wait, let me get this straight. She said he goaded her that she had not even been able to do the stabbing right.
What?
Prompting her to stab him 2 more times while he was on the phone to 999, she claimed.
What?
So while she's stabbing him, he's like, "You can't even stab me right.
You can't even kill me right."
Yeah. She later refused instructions from a paramedic to help him.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. The prosecution contended that the shocking recordings from the emergency calls, which are played to the jury, were evidence of a murder committed in cold blood. But the defense argued that the killing was a result of decades of shame, abuse, and secrecy that finally boiled over. Jackson has said the violence dated back to 1998, shortly after David Jackson's son from his first marriage killed himself. Potterton described her father as a broken man in its wake and observed 3 violent incidents, one in which he held a knife to Jackson's throat. Jackson said in the following years, her husband controlled which TV shows she watched and repeatedly abused her, including strangling, verbal aggression, and forced sex. She felt ashamed and afraid of leaving him, but also grateful to her husband for being a good father to Potterton.
Such complicated emotions.
That's a mixed bag right there.
Mm-hmm.
In December, the couple's toxic relationship is said to have worsened when a row over a remote control resulted in her calling the police after she locked her husband in the conservatory, where he was brandishing a poker. That sounds like a game of Clue. I don't care who you are.
The conservatory.
In the conservatory with a poker. Her computer's search history showed she searched domestic violence refuges later that evening. Yet Jackson's daughter's testimony described a largely idyllic family life of domestic comforts and a loving relationship between two parents. It can't be that loving if you're describing a lot of this stuff.
No, and if there's records of 911 or 999 calls of her having to lock him in a room and he's going to attack her with a fire poker, like,
yeah, that's not
no.
loving.
I mean, there's definitely some abuse going on here.
Right. In her testimony, Jackson reflected on how she had struggled with being stuck shielding at home with her husband during lockdowns and had visited a doctor to discuss her drinking. She said, "I was there all the time. There was no escape." Tom Potterton, who's Isabel's husband, described David Jackson as a proud and traditional man who didn't like to show his emotions. Jane Calvary, who's David Jackson's daughter from his first marriage, said she thought her father always seemed on edge with his wife, who she said baited him and enjoyed making people feel uncomfortable. During the hearing, Wade described Jackson as a vulnerable woman ravaged by deep shame about her fostered upbringing and failed marriages. She had tied her physically abusive first marriage, and her third husband killed himself after learning of her affair with David Jackson. As a result, Wade said, Jackson was determined to live what was, at least on the surface, a perfect life.
So she had an affair with this guy that she killed?
Yeah.
And her first husband committed suicide over it?
Yeah. So basically, the way it goes is, well, she fled her physically abusive first marriage. Her third husband killed himself over an affair with her current husband that she just killed.
Oh, my goodness. Like, this is like a tangled web of darkness.
Welcome to a British soap opera.
Dang.
So then from there on, when she got with David Jackson, she thought, I need to live a perfect life with him. But then supposedly she says it's an abusive relationship and she felt the need to.
And it sounds like it probably was.
Mm-hmm. And
it could have been abusive both directions. I mean, often
that's right.
That happens. So
that's right. That's right. She said this lasted until Jackson was deprived of any release from the atmosphere of the house, worn down by years of control, criticism, and occasional physical violence. That night, everything imploded, the court was told. Ultimately, though, Jackson appeared lucid in her admissions that were recorded on the night. Wade argued, there are the words and actions of a woman who is out of control. She is totally detached from the reality of what has happened. Professor Jane Monckton Smith, who is a criminologist specializing in abusive relationships, told The Guardian that there was clear evidence of coercive control in Jackson's case, but that in the past there had been problems with the concept, a complex umbrella term encompassing multiple types of abuse being poorly communicated to jurors. She says victims can get to the stage where they think, I've got to leave. The only way is to kill this person. Or sometimes they think, I'm actually so traumatized by all this now that I'd rather take the consequences of killing this person than carry on as I am, she said. There is definitely a concern among professionals that sentencing for women who kill abusive partners seems to be more harsh than for men who kill partners who are trying to leave them. I wouldn't disagree with that.
No, and that is a powerful statement right there, and it's very sad.
Yeah. Our final crime of passion may be one of the most famous crimes of passion of all, and it may be controversial, depending on which side you fall on.
Okay.
And it has to do with one of the events that's going on right now, and it's the Olympics. Do you remember the case of Oscar Pistorius?
Oh, my goodness. I do. Yes.
That happened around Valentine's Day.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Mm-hmm. Oscar Pistorius and the Valentine's killing of Riva Steenkamp. And what exactly happened that night? This happened in Cape Town, South Africa. And here's what we do know about the night that South African Olympic runner Oscar Pistorius happened when he shot his girlfriend, Riva Steenkamp, more than a decade ago in a Valentine's Day killing that jolted the world and shattered the image of a sports superstar. Pistorius is a world-famous double amputee sprinter who competed on carbon fiber blades at the 2012 London Olympics and was released on parole Friday. Well, this was Friday of 2024, so he was released 2 years ago after serving nearly 9 years in prison for murder. He has always maintained that he shot Steenkamp in a tragic mistake in the pre-dawn hours of February 14th of 2013, thinking she was a dangerous intruder in his home in the South African capital of Pretoria. Prosecutors said he killed Steenkamp, a 29-year-old model and reality TV star, intentionally during a late-night argument, then made up the intruder story. A judge initially accepted Pistorius' story, but South Africa's Supreme Court of Appeal overturned a lesser manslaughter conviction against him after an appeal by prosecutors and found him guilty of murder. Pistorius did not deny that he shot 4 times through a locked toilet cubicle door in his home with his licensed 9mm pistol, hitting Steenkamp in the head, arm, and hip. But the reason for Pistorius' opening fire formed the central part of his dramatic 2014 murder trial, which lasted 7 months and was broadcast live across the world. He testified that he had heard a noise in the bathroom in the middle of the night and believed that there was an intruder in his home. He said he grabbed his gun from under his bed, where he had been sleeping next to Steenkamp, and went to the bathroom. When he heard a noise from the cubicle, he fired through the door in what he said he thought was self-defense. Steenkamp was hit on the other side of the door. Pistorius' story was attacked by prosecutors who asked why he did not first check on where Steenkamp was if he was so concerned about a dangerous intruder. Then he said he even had to walk past Steenkamp's side of the bed to get to the bathroom. So he would have known where Steenkamp was to get to the bathroom, right?
Yeah.
So
I'm not buying it at all.
Yeah. Pistorius said he had woken up and had gone out onto a balcony to retrieve a fan when he heard the noise from the bathroom and was scared and panicked. He said he rushed to get his gun and presumed Steenkamp was still in bed.
Okay, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Liar.
Once he saw Steenkamp was not in bed after the shooting, he realized she might be the person in the toilet. He testified. Pistorius said he had to break down the locked toilet door with a cricket bat in a vain effort to save her. Prosecutors alleged at the start of the trial that Pistorius had taken the time to put on his prosthetic legs before shooting Steenkamp. So he did put on his legs before going onto the balcony. They said it showed premeditation, and he wouldn't have done that if he was reacting suddenly to what he thought was a dangerous intruder. So
no, none of it makes any sense. If you have a partner who you sleep in the same bed with every night and you hear a noise in the bathroom, you assume it's your partner. You don't assume it's an intruder. That doesn't even make sense.
Yeah. Pistorius's defense lawyers showed the angle of bullet holes in the toilet door, which brought into court as an exhibit, proved he fired the shots while standing on his stumps. And prosecutors later conceded Pistorius did fire the deadly shots while he did not have his prosthetic legs on. Pistorius's lawyers even had him walk around the courtroom without his prosthetic legs, hoping to show that he was unstable and vulnerable without them, and how it might explain his panicked reaction to a possible threat in his home.
Well, I guess I can't relate to that feeling, but still, it just doesn't make logical sense to me.
The basis of the prosecution's case was that the couple, who had only been dating for a few months and had a late-night argument, and Steenkamp fled to the bathroom in fear of an angry Pistorius. Neighbors testified that they heard shouting and screams coming from the Pistorius villa at around 3 a.m. before loud bangs. Prosecutors said it showed the couple were arguing before the gunshots. Pistorius's lawyers said the screams came from him after he realized what he had done, and the bangs were him hitting the door with the cricket bat to try to get to Steenkamp. The manager of the gated community where Pistorius lived and his daughter were the first people on the scene after the shooting. The manager testified Pistorius was crying, screaming, and praying while carrying Steenkamp's bloodied body down the stairs when they arrived. The Supreme Court of Appeal ultimately convicted Pistorius of murder under a specific South African legal principle because he acted with such recklessness when he shot through the door and should have known someone would have been killed without justification. It is comparable to a third-degree murder conviction, and Pistorius was sentenced to 13 years and 5 months in prison. But the final verdict did not definitely say if Pistorius knew he was shooting specifically at Steenkamp and intended to kill her, and that question, the very heart of the case, may never fully be answered. But again, he's been out now for 2 years. So after serving that prison sentence. So there you go. Those are your crimes of passion for Valentine's Day. And as Jess would so heartily remind you, it's better to be alone on Valentine's Day than be with somebody, because that way you stay safe and stay alive. So
just be your own Valentine.
Just be your own Valentine, according to Jessica Freeburg. So there you go. And with that, it's time now for us to lighten things up a bit. It's time now for Dumb Crimes and Stupid Criminals.
It's Crayon News story time.
What happened with this dude, Christ Bearer? I heard he cut his penis off and then jumped off a balcony.
Suspect pulls gun from butt, shoots twice at Denver police.
What is your emergency?
I need help.
And what's the problem?
I'm too high.
You're too high?
Yeah.
It's that time again, the time you've all been looking forward to. It's time for us to lighten it up a bit. It's time now for Dumb Crimes and Stupid Criminals. I could reintroduce Jess again, but then we're just wasting time, aren't we?
It's still me.
It's still her. But Jess, let's jump right back into it. As long as we're talking love and Valentine's Day and all that stuff, eventually first comes love, then comes marriage, then comes a bridal shop, and then comes human trafficking. This story comes to us from one of our listeners. By the way, if you have a story for us, just send it in to darknessradio.com. I think this one came from Tony. By the way, we have Tony and Heather, and we have a few others to thank this week for stories. So thank you, folks, for sending in your stories this week.
Yeah, thank you, guys.
Yeah, I think Tony sent this one in. A bridal shop served as a hub for human trafficking and drug dealing operations, according to prosecutors.
Oh, my.
Well, you know, as you're looking for dresses, maybe you need a little toot of the coke. Maybe you need a brand new hoe. Who knows what you're looking for when you're looking for a dress?
Oh, what a cover.
I'm telling you, there's plenty of money to be made in dresses. I don't know why you need to traffic anything else.
They're outrageous.
Right?
Yeah, and people are going to buy them. It's their special day.
That's right. I don't know why you need to make more money than that, but we go to Roanoke, Virginia, where authorities in Virginia say a Roanoke business is part of an ongoing investigation about possible ties to prostitution and human trafficking. At the center of the probe is a building that is also home to a dress shop. Prosecutors say the bridal store, Amanda's Touch, and they'll touch it in more ways than one.
Whoa.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
Okay.
Yep. Yeah, I said it. Was used as a front for such crimes. Jorge Sanchez is one of the 5 people charged with racketeering and accused of being part of such operations. Prosecutors said there were dozens of victims in this. Mr. Sanchez, in statements that he made, boasted of having over 60 women that he was working with.
Oh my God. And they were being human trafficked. So this wasn't like a pimp situation. This was like unwilling participants.
I believe so.
Boy, this is terrible.
I don't think they were dressmakers, Jess.
No, I don't think so.
Yeah, this according to Floyd County Commonwealth's attorney, Eric Branscombe. He said, we were able to confirm a little over 50 of those 60.
Throw that man in prison. Let him become someone's bitch.
Branscombe is prosecuting the case. He said Sanchez and the other defendants used the bridal shop's back room as a hub for drug dealing and human trafficking operations. According to the Virginia State Police, investigators discovered the defendants were dealing drugs in several locations between Rockbridge and Floyd counties. The group then used the money to fuel the human trafficking operation. Well, at least it went to good use.
Jeez. Just pukes all the way around.
Yep. There is evidence to show drugs, money, and coercion were being used to control these victims, to coerce them into prostitution and human trafficking, Branscombe said. Earl Wayne Smith owns the building and is one of the defendants. Prosecutors believe he is the leader of the trafficking operation at the bridal shop and other locations. Smith's daughter, Amanda Cash, runs the bridal shop.
Oh, gosh.
Do you think she knows?
It's a family affair.
Right? Do you think she knows what's going on?
She has to.
She said the allegations don't have a connection to her and her employees.
She's just clueless. Well, what are they all doing in the back room all the time?
I don't know why all these women that come through here aren't buying dresses.
And why they look like they're crying and miserable and
and they're wearing way too much makeup for a bride. I don't know. She says, I am heartbroken and deeply disturbed by the allegations that have been reported this week. The activity described in court has absolutely no connection to me, my employees, and the daily operations of the bridal shop, she shared in a statement. Authorities believe cash did not play a role in the operation. How are you so clueless, though?
Wow, that is next level oblivion. Like,
how do you know your daddy isn't a drug dealing pimp?
Yeah. Maybe you just don't want to know. I've decided that's a thing that's very common these days.
She did issue this statement.
I don't want to know.
Are you ready for this statement, though, Jess?
Yeah.
I don't think she's 100% innocent in this. Here's her statement. My father helped finance the business when it opened 28 years ago, but he has not been involved in running the stores, Cash said. I've operated the business independently for years, and we have been estranged for some time. Neither I nor any of my employees had any knowledge of or involvement in any of his activities. Sanchez's bond request has been denied. By the way, he and Smith remain in police custody. So wait a minute. You've been estranged from your father. So you don't see him at any family meals or holidays or anything like that. But
only when he comes by to use the back room for drug deals.
Right. But yet you're both running stuff out of the same building, and he strangely finances the business, but you're estranged and you don't see each other.
It's pretty weak.
I call bullshit.
I don't know.
Yeah. What, he just drops money in your account and never sees you? I want that daddy.
No, you don't, Tim. That's a bad dad.
Oh, I don't know. I think I'm due. I want that daddy.
He just wants the money.
I want that daddy. I mean, that may sound desperate, but I want that daddy. I think this next guy probably needs that daddy because he ended up walking out on his bar tab.
Uh-oh.
But
drink and dash.
Yeah, a little drink and dash. He probably needed that daddy to pay his bar tab, but he got caught in the most unusual way. By the way, if you're gonna dine and dash or drink and dash, I mean, stick to that deal. Don't ever go back, right? Because you're gonna get caught.
Did he go back in to pay, or he went back in to have more?
Oh, he went back for the worst reason, Jess.
What did he do, Tim?
What reason would you ever go back into a business or anywhere? What's the one thing you'd ever go back for?
I mean, if I forgot something, I'd go back.
Right. What would you have forgot?
At the bar? Did he forget like his wallet or?
That could be one thing, but he would have paid, right, if he forgot his wallet.
Mm.
Or they would have taken the money out of his wallet and paid his tab.
That's true.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. What does a guy take to the bar? I only know like what women take, and we just take our purses.
What's in your purse? I mean, not that I'm that curious, but can you think of something in your purse that you would have left behind that?
Well, maybe your driver's license. Did he leave his driver's license behind?
Not that easy, or they would have found it.
Huh.
It's the most mundane thing that you'd be like, you know what? I think you probably could have left that behind.
Oh, what was it?
Well, let me tell you, Jess. A man walked out on his bar tab, and he came back the next day because he forgot his phone charger.
Oh, for heaven's sake.
Mm-hmm.
Really? Just go buy a new one.
You would think, but guess what? We're going to Florida, where a man was arrested early Tuesday morning after walking out on a bar tab at a local restaurant in Largo, according to the Largo Police Department. Benjamin Rakel, let me show you a picture of him because this is the face of a man who's confused that he can't go back to the phone store and get a new one.
He does look a little confused, if I'm being honest.
Doesn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah. There's a guy who's like, you know, I can get a new one.
You not can just go buy one of those?
I can get a new one of them. Benjamin Rakel reportedly ordered food and drinks at the Largo Whiskey Wings on Sunday night, totaling up $64.18. before walking out after telling employees he did not have the money to pay. Oh, he was honest with them.
Sorry, guys. I just can't afford it.
Yep.
Thanks, though. It was delicious.
That was amazing. But can I wash dishes? Rakel provided debit and credit cards as security, which, according to the affidavit, did not have money on them, and told employees that he would be back the next day. Police say that the 23-year-old Rakel came back to the restaurant late Monday night to retrieve a phone charger he'd forgotten when he was there during the crime. Largo police were called, and Rakel was arrested around 12:20 a.m. on Tuesday. Post Miranda rights, Rakel reportedly told officers that he had a Cash App debit card, which he did not provide to the restaurant, but the affidavit did not say if it had money on it to pay for the food and alcohol that night. Rakel was charged with obtaining food with the intent to defraud. He remains in Pinellas County Jail. $64.18. Was it worth it?
I don't think so. Not going to prison for.
No, not going to prison for, by the way. Yeah. By the way, during this Dumb Crime, Stupid Criminals segment, in case, I don't know, Jess, do you want to point out what you're doing while we're doing Dumb Crime, Stupid Criminals? It's kind of fun. We're doing a baking.
Sorry,
we're doing a baking segment at the same time. Yeah. So.
This is why we were talking about food before, because I told Tim, my daughter is making sourdough bread, but she has to go to track practice. So she got all the dough ready. And then she's like, okay, Mom, you have to stretch and fold every 30 minutes.
Yeah.
And I was like, dude, I'm going to be doing a podcast. So I was like, well, just bring it in. I'll just stretch and fold while Tim tells me criminal stories.
Yeah, it's kind of fun. Yeah. So
I'm just stretching and folding my dough right now.
Kind of give us a demonstration here of what you're doing.
Well, can you kind of see?
Oh, yeah. Look at that.
Big, I got to stretch it up with my hands and then fold it over, apparently, get it off the edges.
Oh, look at that. It's kind of interesting.
Yeah, it smells great.
I bet it does. Look at that.
Yeah. So
by the way, do you get co-credit for this?
I guess. I'm a baker's assistant.
You should be. You better get it. You better get some sort of credit.
I'm a co-baker.
You're a co-baker. There you go.
If it goes wrong, it's going to be my fault. I know that.
Do I get credit for this, by the way?
One does. You're all helping.
That's right. We're all helping. So you better tell her we all get credit. She better leave a lot of lines on the paper when she turns it in.
That's right.
Yeah.
This is like her new obsession, though, Tim, I'm telling you. We have sourdough starter on our counter all the time. She named it Baby Boo.
Is this a Taylor Swift thing? Is she a Swiftie?
Not really, but her and her friends have been going over. This is my mom guilt thing that I have right now. Mm-hmm. They've been going after school to her friend's house, and her friend's mom has been baking bread with all of them. So there's like all these little teenage girls that go over, and they each bake a loaf of bread, and then she brings it home, and then the mom gave her starter to start doing her own sourdough bread. Oh my gosh. It's very scientific too. So then the mom had to FaceTime with her to like walk her through feeding it the first time. So you have to feed it. It's weird.
Jeez. It's like a.
But I'm glad someone's doing motherly things with you while I'm over here writing a book every day.
Why making
book
money?
A day?
Yeah. Why I'm busy making money. It's like a yeasty Tamagotchi. It's kind of fun.
She said my hands weren't going to get dirty, but she lied.
Oh, look at that! Jeez, do you need to clean your hands off or anything?
I mean, I don't know. I might, but I got to do another one. So carry on. Tell us another story.
Sure. All right. Well, this next one comes from Heather. She sends in a story that says a man is. By the way, this is a local Minnesota story. So.
Oh, I love those.
So, how would you like to hear how gullible we are here in this state?
Yes, please.
All right.
Make me feel better about myself.
Sure. A man is charged after a victim sent money for a flying car that never arrived.
Oh, well, what a shock.
Right? I mean, I just assume when I send money for a flying car, it's going to show up on my doorstep, maybe even by Amazon.
I mean, I've been planning on these flying cars since I was in like middle school. That was like my prediction for 2000. I thought, we'll have flying cars by then.
Oh, I assumed years ago we were going to have them. Yeah, but nope.
Yeah.
Didn't happen. Didn't happen. A man is charged after investigators say a Stearns County man was swindled out of $10,000 while trying only $10,000 while trying.
They're like a bargain.
Right? You can't buy anything for $10,000.
I mean, we're in the market for a new car we've got to give Brielle one of our cars. She turns 16 next week, and we'll just buy my husband a flying car.
There you go, flying car. So he was swindled out of $10,000 while trying to buy a flying car online. The charges were filed after the victim reported wiring to a bank account while communicating with an online seller who never delivered the vehicle. There's a shock.
Oh, this is sad. Is this an older person or?
Yes.
I know. That makes me sad.
Raul Carvajal, who is 66 years old, of Naples, Florida, is charged with a felony theft by swindle involving more than $5,000, according to a criminal complaint filed in Stearns County District Court. Prosecutors allege that Carvajal knowingly obtained the money through the online scheme and then quickly transferred the funds through multiple financial platforms. According to the complaint, if you're ready for this, a Stearns County deputy reported the fraud report on July 17th of 2025 at the home of 73-year-old man who said he attempted to purchase a flying car from an online seller using the name Hinsey Lewis.
Bless his heart.
Old Hinsey Lewis.
Oh.
The seller provided banking information and instructed the victim to send payment to secure the vehicle. On July 2nd of 2025, the victim wired $10,000 to a Citibank account. The victim told investigators that he never received any shipping details or confirmation of delivery after sending the initial payment and was later asked to send additional money. An invoice provided during the transaction listed Carvajal's name, prompting investigators to seek bank records tied to the account that received the wire transfer. Search warrants for Citibank records showed the account belonged to Carvajal and had been opened in May of 2025. Bank statements confirmed the $10,000 transfer was received and then withdrawn within days through transactions sent to Zelle. Zelle, Coinbase, and Paybase. Oh, so he split it up through three different.
Oh.
Yeah. He did the old flim-flam switch, the shell game.
Tricky.
Yeah. Investigators later obtained records from those platforms that showed accounts registered to Carvajal and transactions matching the movements of the funds. Authorities also linked the IP address used for the financial transactions to an Xfinity internet service associated with Carvajal, so he paid his cable bill. Thank you, Xfinity. Investigators noted that the account activity included regular debit card purchases and online transfers throughout July. Deputies spoke with Carvajal on 2 occasions. He told investigators that he had closed that Citibank account and did not recall receiving a large sum of money or transferring funds out of the account. I forgot. I don't
remember that.
$10,000? No, I don't remember that. He acknowledged having accounts with Zelle, Coinbase, and Paybase, and confirmed his internet service provider. Investigators say bank records contradicted his statements and showed the account remained active during the period in question. Carvajal was charged by summons and scheduled for an initial court appearance on March 2nd. He faces a maximum penalty of up to 10 years in prison and a $20,000 fine if convicted. I wonder if the 10 years in prison is worth it.
I would say no. He was not a very smart criminal, though. If you have people giving you money, you got to have it going someplace where they can't trace it back to you.
That's right. And, I mean, how do you deliver on the flying car, right? I mean, what was the end game?
How do you even convince someone that that's a thing that you're going to deliver on?
Right.
I mean, I feel so bad for the victim because I'm sure they feel extremely stupid and they were probably super embarrassed. And they were older, so they're vulnerable. What a jerk.
You think he's sitting around at the cafe there in Stearns County going, you know something, I got one of them there flying cars coming to the house.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He might be.
Yeah, you know something there, Gary. You're going to be the first one I'm going to take up there in the flying car. You know what? I'm going to avoid the traffic there in St. Cloud in the middle of the day. I know it only goes for 10 minutes, but we're not going to have to deal with that no more.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know what?
Sad.
After we're done with our coffee, we're going to go up there in the blue skies and we're going to go riding around. It's going to be fun.
Oh. I am so curious, like, what that sales pitch was. How is that your scheme? I'm going to sell flying cars to people.
You want me to separate Hinsey Lewis away from $10,000 real quick?
Oh my gosh.
Lewis, you too can be separated from your $10,000. I can reunite you with Ethel. Buy my car. And all of a sudden I get $10,000 in my account. It's real simple.
What a story.
It doesn't take much. Doesn't take much. People will part with their money very quickly.
We're gullible as a humanity.
It's very true.
We believe what we want to believe, and he wanted to believe in a flying car.
He did, even though it's not a thing.
God bless him.
Speaking of gullible people, how late do you think Little Caesars is open?
Oh, Little Caesars. I mean, I want to say 10.
Probably not much later.
Yeah, I hope it's not open later than that.
If you saw Little Caesars open at 2 a.m, would you go in for pizza?
No.
If somebody did.
I'd be like, something bad is happening at that Little Caesars over there.
And it's got to be great. Maybe I can get a discount.
Oh, my, 2 a.m.
Somebody believed that the Little Caesars was open a little too later than expected. And went in to buy some pizza. A man was accused of selling pizzas after hours at Little Caesars and pocketing the profits.
Did he work there?
I'll tell you.
I must know.
A former Little Caesars employee in North Carolina was in need, much like you're doing right now, need of some dough.
I feel you, brother.
See? When he started making and selling pizzas after hours at his past place of employment. In other words, he didn't work there anymore. He just walked in and started owning the joint.
Wow. So he wasn't even a current employee. He was just going back, and he knew no one would be around. So
I might do that at the old Chuck E. Cheese. I might just walk in, put the mouse costume on, and start throwing birthday parties.
You have to wear the costume if you're doing it.
Oh, yeah. I'm gonna start throwing birthday parties after they close.
I mean, especially if this is like in a college town or anywhere near a college like that, where kids are getting done at the bars around too. And yeah, they'd be going to grab on some Little Caesars pizza and breadsticks.
Yeah, make that money. I'm telling you.
Mm-hmm.
Police arrested 41-year-old Jonathan Hackett on February 1st in connection with a break-in at the Little Caesars in Kinston, North Carolina, about 80 miles southeast of Raleigh. I bet people like having their pizza late night, right? Hackett allegedly unlawfully entered the business on 2 separate occasions. During the first incident, Hackett prepared pizzas and sold them to customers and kept the profits. During the second incident, the suspect allegedly broke into the business while employees were still present.
What?
Yeah, they attempted to prevent him from entering, which resulted in a physical altercation. He's gonna jack a bitch for some pizzas. I'll tell you that right now. It's gonna happen.
He's like, no, guys, I'm the next shift. Get out of here.
That's right.
It's my turn.
He's jacking for za. I'll tell you that much.
Yeah.
Hackett was injured during the altercation and was treated at a hospital before being transported to the Lenoir? It should be Lenoir. That's the French pronunciation, but it's probably Lenoir County Jail. He faces 3 felonies, including breaking and entering, 1 misdemeanor, and a city curfew violation.
Oh.
He was out past curfew, Jess. You can only
I didn't know they had that for adults.
You can only keep your pizza out for so long.
I guess. I'm just, the whole time you're talking, I'm thinking, to be young and able to eat a pizza after midnight without getting horrible indigestion.
Oh, you know what I found works for that is that hyaluronic acid I've been taking.
Oh, I guess. It's like a miracle, huh?
It is. I don't get indigestion anymore.
Well, you can go eat Little Caesars pizza at 2 a.m. You should call this guy up and see if he'll come make you some.
You know what I had at midnight last night?
What?
Portillo's Italian beef sandwich.
Ooh, that sounds delicious.
And I did nerp it up.
Not a bit, huh?
Not a bit.
Wow. It's like your digestive system is 20 again.
I know, right?
That's crazy.
And I had a small sliver of chocolate cake as well.
Wow. I just got indigestion listening to you tell me about what you ate at midnight.
See? And not even a little herb.
Huh, crazy.
See?
Give me some of that.
I'm telling you. I'll have some sent to the house.
All right. I want to eat chocolate cake at midnight and not herb it up.
See? It's good stuff. Just saying. All right. Let's see here. We have more food stories here. I have some food stories. I didn't even know you were going to do the sourdough thing today. And
It really is like a cooking segment. I mean, who knew? This
Yeah.
should be a new thing.
it should be a new thing. We should just continue to do cooking segments on
True
air.
Crime Tuesday with a side of baking bread.
Maybe not a sourdough starter every week. Maybe we can get you to escalate your cooking every week.
I mean, I can make anything. I used to be a food science teacher. So, I mean, sky's the limit.
Really?
Yeah, I taught sex ed and food.
Wow. You're like the complete lady.
The two things you love the most, sex and food. I'm here to teach you all about them both.
Wow. How do we incorporate that into True Crime Tuesday?
Oh, I don't know.
Hmm.
Although mine was the anti-sex. I'm like, here's all the terrible things that will happen to you if you have sex.
Oh, it wasn't anything fun. It was here's all the STDs.
Making the kids throw up with the herpes pictures and
Oh yeah, you were. That was the. Yeah, that was.
Yeah.
It was like, oh, Mrs. Freeburg showed me what chlamydia looks like today, and they were
Yeah.
like, how did she do it? And they were like, no, through pictures, through pictures.
it wasn't live.
No, it wasn't live. It was through pictures. Pictures, ladies and gentlemen, pictures. I see. Yeah. But I digress. But yeah, we could have a different.
Cooking and crime.
Cooking and
That's
crime.
a new segment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cooking with crime. Doom, 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 doom,
yeah.
doom, doom, doom.
I need to get one of we can go out in my kitchen and we can get one of those mirrors. Because back when I was teaching foods, I had like this great island that had a mirror above it. So the kids could like watch. You position the mirror just right so they could see
Really?
what I was doing in the dish.
Really?
Yeah, I felt like I was on a baking show. It was kind of awesome.
You're like the coolest cooking teacher ever. I had Mrs. Mortensen in Blaine High School who was like 103 years old.
I know. And the kids were quite excited that I was not.
Right. Mrs. Mortensen was I think she was working on dementia when we had her.
Aw.
She would tell us how to make bread and jam. That was it. Those were the two things, and omelets. Those were the three things we learned how to make. And we were
You
like,
can survive your whole life with those three things, Tim.
well, you know why we were making them? Because she used to go to Liberia every summer.
Oh.
She used to do missionary work, and she would talk like this. This is her voice. She sounded like an old Hollywood star.
Oh.
Right? And we'd say, Mrs. Mortensen, why are we making bread and jam? She goes, because the children in Liberia like bread and jam. It was like,
It's true.
"What-
Home ec
what?"
teachers were always kind of weird.
Oh, she was an odd bird. So it was like, okay. She used to say pectin with like three syllables. It was like pectin, 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 pectin. I have my quirks about her. I think I wake up screaming at night. Bad dreams.
Traumatized.
Traumatized about Mrs. Mortensen. But bread and jam. Anyway, now see, I'm not. My PTSD's been triggered.
Yeah, I was like the opposite of that home ec
good,
teacher.
Good. Thank you. I appreciate it.
I don't mind admitting back in the day I was pretty cute. That is actually when I realized that I needed to, this is personal, I needed to start wearing padded bras because the boys would never look up past my chest. They would just be standing there talking to me, looking at my boobs, and I'd look down and be like, well, it is cold in here.
The kids would
I've got nipples. What are you going to do?
Kids would take out the CD player and start playing Cherry Pie. And be like, can you perform to this song?
Like I'm stopping at the store on the way home to buy bras that have pads in them so they can't tell when I'm chilly.
They'd go over and play with the thermostat. See, that would have been me in that class. Let's turn her down to about 54 and see what happens.
Yeah, get it good and cold. Watch this, guys.
Yeah, I was the class clown. You would have hated me.
Oh my gosh. Well, that and the kids used to steal like my oregano. I would do a pizza lab. And see, am I right? And they would try to sell it as pot.
Yeah,
and so
trying to smoke it.
every
Right.
semester we'd start, I'd be like, guys, if someone tries to sell you a bag of weed and it smells like pizza, don't be stupid. Don't buy it. But also bring it back because we need it to make our pizza.
We needed to make pizza.
Let me educate you. Weed doesn't smell like pizza.
That's right.
Okay?
Yeah, that's funny. That's
Anyway.
so funny. That's funny. You just came up with the perfect segue to the next story, by the way.
Ooh, what is it?
Oregano pizza. We're going Italian for the next story.
It's like I knew it was happening.
It's like you've seen the game plan the entire time. We're going, what state are it? It doesn't matter where we're going. We're going to Boardman, the town of Boardman, where police were called after a woman splashes lasagna on her husband.
Ooh.
Not in a kinky way. In a I'm not happy with you type of way.
Not in a Valentine's kind of way.
No,
huh?
not in a Valentine's kind of way. Like, that's amore. Ah! No, it's not that kind of way. A man at the house told police that his wife had yelled at him and then threw lasagna in his face.
Well, that's not nice.
Maybe she meant to force feed him. Boardman police were called to a home in the Hopkins Heights neighborhood on Thursday night to investigate a reported domestic dispute involving a tray of food. When officers arrived at the scene, they found a married couple who, according to the report, appeared to be very intoxicated. There's a shock.
So you're saying alcohol was involved? Huh.
Maybe.
Perplexing.
A man at the house told police that his wife had yelled at him and then threw lasagna in his face. Well, it could have been a frying pan to the head. At least it was just.
I'm fascinated that this led to a 911 call.
Right, yeah.
If I did that, not that I would never throw lasagna at my husband. I mean, what a waste of food.
Right.
I mean, I love lasagna. And honestly, just kidding. I would never throw anything at my husband. If I did, he would not be calling 911. He would go take a shower.
First of all, I'd pick that shit up off the floor and eat it. It's good stuff.
I love lasagna.
I'd probably say thanks for the air delivery. Appreciate that. I don't have to get up and go get it off the stove. So thanks. And then second, I'd probably eat dinner.
Yeah.
Right?
I mean, as long as it wasn't still in the pan,
Oh, yeah.
If it's just lasagna, it's soft, squishy, delicious.
Mm-hmm. Although,
eat what you can and then take a shower.
If it's still in the pan, you know what that means? It's a nice, thick, rich lasagna. You made that with some good consistency. You know what I mean? That's a good lasagna.
That's a good one, huh?
I'm digging in. If it's all over the floor, then maybe it's not that good.
Yeah, a little sloppy, but it probably still tastes delicious because it has all the elements of yum.
That's right. This man we shall call Mr. Wuss told police that his wife had yelled at him, threw the lasagna in his face. Officers noted that they could see pieces of lasagna on the man's shirt and in his hair. So it was a good shot. Aces.
Were they like, let me help you with that? I'm going to take and eat.
Let's see. Needs oregano. You should call Jess. Mm-hmm. The woman told a different story to police. She claimed the man was being aggressive towards her. Later, she told an officer over the phone that she threw the food because the man was being rude and had tried to push her out of the house. You push me out of the house, I'll push my lasagna in your face. A partial transcript from the police report recounts the conversation between an officer and the wife. I asked her how he had gotten lasagna all over him, to which she stated, I threw it at him. When I asked why, she said because he was being a butthole.
Butthole. Oh, I kind of love her.
When I explained to her that what she did was an assault, she stated, well, he chest bumped me 4 times, then he punched me in the face.
Oh, no.
Wow. I asked if she wanted to pursue charges, and she said no, that she never wanted the police involved anyway. So wait.
Wow. Well, she should. If he punched her.
Yeah.
Did she have markings from that?
See, that's the thing. Okay, so he chest bumps her 4 times and punches her. He only gets a lasagna in the face, but he's the one who's assaulted and affronted and decides to call the police?
Yeah, that's weird.
How big of a weenie is this guy?
Well, if you're punching a girl in the face, you're a pretty big weenie.
Yeah.
So we'll just start there.
Yeah. On top of the fact that he can't take it when he gets hit with a little bit of food.
Yeah.
And a squishy lasagna at that. I mean, it's, it's not like he got hit with a bowling ball. He got hit with a lasagna.
Yeah, true.
Yeah. Police told the man and woman to stay away from each other for the rest of the night to avoid further trouble. And the man was told to avoid all Italian eateries for the next 48 hours.
I was going to say, or just stay away from each other for the rest of forever.
Yeah, that's probably a good thing. The food fun continues. That's a hard sentence to say. The food fun continues as we switch it up from Italian to Japanese. We go to Kirkwood, Missouri, where a St. Louis woman is facing multiple felony charges after police say she fired a gun inside a Kirkwood restaurant during an argument with staff on Wednesday night.
Oh, my goodness.
California roll you, I will. Pow!
Who takes a gun to the sushi restaurant?
Well, someone who's not happy about the service. That's who. I don't know. According to the Kirkwood Police Department, the shooting happened just before 8:30 p.m. at a sushi restaurant in the 300 block of South Kirkwood Road. Police said the restaurant manager told officers that the suspect drove away in a white SUV. No, it's not OJ. That's an old joke. Officers located the vehicle a short time later near South Kirkwood and Woodbine Avenue and detained the people in the car. After reviewing the restaurant's security footage, police identified the occupants of the SUV as Aaliyah N. Moorhead, another adult woman, and Moorhead's 9-year-old child. By the way, the 9-year-old child was strapped too. Just kidding. It's
crazy, though. She had a kid in the car when she was in there pulling the gun out on him. That's nuts.
Yeah. According to Officer Gary Baldridge, a Kirkwood police spokesman, Moorhead told the officers she believed restaurant staff were rude to her and her family when they arrived. Moorhead said she used a translation feature on her AirPods and determined that the cooks made racial and derogatory comments in Spanish about herself and her family.
Okay.
I think maybe she...
Well, by all means, then, pull your gun out.
I think she had the wrong translation setting on.
I was going to say, why would the speed... Why? I wouldn't think... Okay, well, my brain just misfired there. Spanish, Japanese restaurant.
Yeah. Wrong translation setting, probably.
Yeah.
Police said Moorhead got upset over what she described as an issue with her order. The server offered to correct the order, but Moorhead began swearing at the server and then was asked to leave. Authorities allege Moorhead threw a bowl of soup at the server, hitting him and others nearby. The server moved a chair between himself and Moorhead. However, she grabbed the chair and threw it.
Wow. She sounds like a princess.
Yeah, that's a nice way of putting it. Moorhead then took out a 9mm Glock handgun, threatened the server, and fired a shot in his direction.
Oh my! And he was probably just a younger person. Like, he's a server. What are you doing?
That's a little extra.
That's bananas.
The 9-year-old was walking between their mother and the server at the time that she pulled the Glock and pulled the trigger.
Oh my! I hope they took that child away from this woman.
The bullet, by the way...
I feel like that's child endangerment.
That is a little child endangerment, yeah. The bullet missed the server, by the way, went through a refrigerator and struck the wall. So...
You think she was aiming at him, though? Or was she just like, warning shot?
Warning shot! I don't think she called warning shot and then fired.
No, I think she was trying to hit him. Can you imagine if she killed him over this?
Yeah, over a bad order or a wrong order. Yeah. No one was injured, by the way, thank God. The St. Louis County Prosecuting Attorney's Office charged Moorhead, 31, with she's old enough to know better, 31 years old, with first-degree assault, armed criminal action on unlawful use of a weapon, endangering the welfare of a child, and first-degree property damage. Moorhead's being held at the St. Louis County Justice Center. How much do you think her cash-only bond is?
I hope it's high.
It's pretty high.
Oh, okay. So like 40,000.
Let's go higher.
Really? Oh, good. I'm so happy. 70,000?
Let's go a little higher. I'll give you one more.
Really? Even higher? Oh, I like this place. Let's say 80,000 then.
$150,000 cash only.
I love that for her.
I love that for her. Yeah. Online records, by the way, don't show when she'll appear in court. So they're going to take their time prosecuting this one.
They should. Let her sit in there for a little while.
That's right. There's a little bit of a trigger warning on this next story. By the way, we're still in our food section. Oh, wait, no. I'm going to do this first story, and then I'll do the trigger warning, and then we'll go into not safe for work.
Okay.
Actually, maybe we should go into not safe for work for that story. This next one's kind of a cute one, but kind of an unnecessary. I think these two are a little extra. I'm using the word extra a lot today. But police were summoned to a home to handle a domestic dispute over sticky buns. And by the way, I got this one emailed to me quite a bit this week.
Sticky buns.
Yes, over sticky buns.
Like the food, or someone had sticky buns?
Well, if it was if it was that, it'd be in not safe for work.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Jess, come on.
Damn it, Vern, you got my bun sticky again.
Aim higher. No, but you'd understand that being both food and sex ed teacher.
Mm-hmm.
Domestic disputes that require police intervention are never a laughing matter. That's what they say here. Unless, of course, two siblings are threatening to kill each other over who ate the last sticky bun.
Oh, I can see this.
Supposedly, these sticky buns are so good, these two siblings wanted to kill each other over them. And who wanted the last one? Yeah.
Those were some good sticky buns.
Right? This takes place in Williamsport, Pennsylvania, where police responded Monday afternoon to a residence there to handle a domestic in progress, no weapons, no intoxication, according to a dispatch audio. Officers were told the confrontation is between siblings over who ate the last sticky bun. Now they're threatening to kill each other. Sadly, according to the smoking gun in their public records requests, they had been denied by the Williamsport Bureau of Police, as no further information about the confrontations available, such as the age or identity of the sticky bun enthusiasts or whether arrests were made. Additionally, specific sticky bun details are lacking. However, if the gooey treats are not homemade, it appears likely they came from Mr. Sticky's, which is a Williamsport favorite that is a short drive from where the siblings clashed. Mr. Sticky's, by the way, offers several varieties, including a cinnamon bun topped with our special and delectable cream cheese icing. That's a quote that clearly would be worth fighting over.
You might throw down for that, but it wouldn't kill you. I would just maim you a little bit.
Yeah, for Mr. Sticky's.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, that's crazy. And they weren't even drunk, and they were going to kill each other over a sticky bun.
Right. Tell you what, we will go not safe for work for this next story. So get your kids out of the room unless they're fighting over a sticky bun. Then by all means, set up the warrior pen for them so that you can watch them. Otherwise, put them in front of the TV to watch Bluey. If your boss is in the room, by all means, put them in front of the TV, let them watch Bluey, and we'll get going with Not Safe for Work here in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Jess has got the sourdough going, and we'll get...
It's been 30 minutes, friends.
That's right. It's been 30 minutes.
Stretch and fold.
Time to stretch and fold, and this guy is going to stretch and fold himself in a horrific way. We're going to Olive Garden, where you're there, your family, or you're about to be thrown into the deep fryer.
What?
Yes, a male cook died in a horrific accident at Olive Garden.
Tim, I wasn't expecting him to die.
Well, Jess, I told you it wasn't safe for work.
Oh, my God.
A worker went headfirst into the fryers at Olive Garden.
Oh, my God.
An Olive Garden employee died from injuries he suffered after thrusting his head into a deep fryer in what police have categorized as a suicide attempt.
No.
By the way, don't order the ravioli, the deep fried ravioli at this place.
Where is this one at? I never want to eat there.
It's in Williamsport, Pennsylvania. The same place where the sticky bun was.
Oh, what is going on there right now?
I don't know. It's some sort of weird Twilight Zone episode going on there. The harrowing incident, again, occurred Friday afternoon at the Williamsport, Pennsylvania restaurant where the decedent worked as a cook. Maybe it was the parents of the kids who were fighting over the sticky bun.
He's like, I can't believe this is my life.
And then he's like, stuck his head in the fryer.
It's not funny. This is terrible.
In response to the smoking gun inquiry, Trooper Lauren Lesher, a Pennsylvania State Police spokesperson, said that the incident was a suicide attempt, and out of respect for the individual and their family, we do not release information. Lesher added that the provision of details about the January 30th event could lead to the late worker's identity being discovered. In a brief phone conversation, a manager at the Olive Garden, which closed for a couple of days after the incident, probably because they had to
they should forever. Like,
right.
Let's just bulldoze that one.
Let's get rid of it. We'll open across the street. They probably had to clean the fryer like real good, I'm thinking.
Right.
How do you ever eat anything fried ever again from Olive Garden?
Yeah, no. Mm-mm. Yeah. Shut her down, friends.
Shut it down. They say we were not able to disclose anything due to our privacy laws. I got to think you taste deep fried pork anytime you eat anything out of the deep fryer at Olive Garden.
And that smell would be so terrible.
Oh.
Like the restaurant would stink for, I don't even know how you air that out if that's what someone did. That is, ugh.
Police and emergency workers arrived at the restaurant around 4 p.m. in response to 911 calls about an employee removing his clothes and attempting to harm himself. That's right. He got naked and jumped in the deep fryer.
This guy he just broke.
Yeah. That according to audio from the Lycoming County Fire and EMS Service. A dispatcher is heard saying, I don't have a lot of details, a lot of people screaming and some kind of a burn victim.
Aww.
In a subsequent dispatch, the operator added that a male victim went headfirst into the fryers. Oh, God. Adding that PSP is responding to the Olive Garden. I'm sorry.
And everyone who worked there, I know you're laughing because you just don't even know what to do with yourself.
I'm horrified. That's why I'm laughing.
Yeah, because it's horrifying. Everyone who worked there is freaking traumatized forever. They're never getting over that ever.
I'm not laughing because it's funny. I'm laughing because I'm horrified. I mean, how do you... Holy shit.
Yeah, dang, man.
After the initial ambulance crew arrived, a second unit was sent to the restaurant to treat a female worker who suffered minor burns. The woman was injured as workers and at least one patron struggled with the male cook in an attempt to stop him from suffering additional self-inflicted burns. He kept going back.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
This is like, oh my God, what is that movie where it's like, I wish I could think of the name of it, where all the kids
please don't
leave,
say Monty
they all
Python.
disappear. And the lady makes them do terrible things to themselves. And this is like people die in the weirdest ways.
Oh, I don't know. I thought you were going to say...
I'm going to have to figure this out and send it to you because you have to watch it. And so does everyone else. But
I thought you were going to say Monty Python and Just a Flesh Wound.
No, I would literally like Google it right now, but my fingers are covered in dough.
And dough, yeah. You're... how appropriate. The Olive Garden worker was rushed to a local hospital, later succumbed to his injuries. So, yeah. So,
Yikes.
By the way, the Zeppeli is on special at Olive Garden for Valentine's Day. I'm sorry, I couldn't help the joke. The deep fried Zeppeli on special at Olive Garden. Ask for it by name.
It's going to be a while before I can eat it in Olive Garden. I can tell you that. The movie is called Weapons. Have you seen that?
Oh, Weapons. No, I haven't seen it yet.
Oh, see it. See it. And you'll know why this reminded me of that. It's good and it's crazy.
All right. Will do. Okay.
Okay, no more jokes
All right.
until the next one.
Hold this one. You're gonna be like, this is what's wrong with you, Tim?
I think that constantly. Every Tuesday for 2 hours.
You think, Jesus, what's wrong with you, Tim? You need an exorcism. Let me show you a picture of this young lady quickly. I want you to tell me what the crime is with this young woman right here.
Well, there looks like there's a daycare behind her, so she must have done something bad to a child.
Yes, she did.
Okay. Well, now I want to punch her.
Yes, she should. Let's just say she got a little tired of the little ones to the point where she just didn't give a shit. Or maybe she gave too many shits.
Uh-oh.
Saying that it was candy, a daycare worker was giving toddlers laxatives so they would get sent home because she was overwhelmed. According to police.
That's a creative solution.
Holy shit, so to speak.
For real, literally.
A daycare teacher in Illinois is accused of giving several toddlers laxatives after telling the children that the items were candy. Mm-hmm.
You can't do that.
No. 23-year-old Yazel Juarez, who probably didn't belong in a daycare to start with, has been charged with 3 counts each of attempted aggravated battery causing bodily harm to a victim under the age of 13 and endangering the life or health of a child, both of which are misdemeanors. The St. Charles Police Department said that on Tuesday at about 9:45 a.m. it was contacted by multiple parents that their children attending the Learning Experience daycare in St. Charles had been given a chewable laxative by one of their daycare teachers. Officers responded to investigate and confirm the incidents had occurred, police said. Each child was 2 years old or younger.
No.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. I would be so angry. They're babies.
They're babies. Yeah. Juarez was identified as a suspect, and after police consulted with the Kane County State's Attorney's Office, the charges were brought against her. She turned herself in, police said, and was released from custody. My child was still suffering from constipation, which the doctor said it was going to be a side effect of the laxative. Coming off of laxatives, one of the affected children's parents told Chicago-based CBS affiliate WBBM. Her child was just 17 months old. The parent reportedly added that her child has been suffering from diarrhea for 2 months, and the doctor visits and switching the toddler's formula did not fix the problem. We thought it could have been a virus and that was negative, she said. We found out from the director that she had fired her employee because she allegedly was giving them these laxatives and saying that it was candy so that they could get sent home because she was overwhelmed. It's disgusting. Get another job then, the mother added, according to the regional outlet. Police said Juarez has an upcoming court date, though it is presently unclear when exactly that appearance is scheduled. Police are asking anyone with information about the alleged crimes to come forward and speak with them. Can you imagine how messed up those kids might be?
I know, they're just so tiny and they're just learning how to go potty in the toilet, and now they have all these issues. They're going to be traumatized.
Well, not only that, but how do you trust an adult figure after that?
Yeah, no kidding. And as a parent, oh my goodness. I mean, I didn't ever want my kids to go to daycare anyway, but that would be okay, I'm just not working anymore.
Yeah. I mean, the trust of both kids and adults is shattered now.
Yeah. Terrible.
I'm going to ask you what you think this is, other than an image from the Predator movies.
Whoa. Somehow I saw this one somewhere, so I know exactly what's happening.
Do you know what's happening?
Yeah, I believe Sean Spinks, my Ghost Stories Inc. buddy, put this on his Facebook the other day.
Did he? So you know what this is?
I do, and I love it.
Our next story takes place in Wisconsin. So you know what this is?
Somebody's busted.
Somebody's been busted and been busted by a drone. I may use this tomorrow during our AI segment.
Yeah, thermal image camera. I mean,
Yeah. No matter where you go, you can't run, you can't hide, especially if you're a serial defecator. Serial defecator was cited after a drone caught a Wisconsin woman in the act.
what was a woman?
Yeah.
I just assumed it was a dude.
We go to Stoughton, Wisconsin, where a Wisconsin woman is in a bit of a stinky situation after drones allegedly caught her in the act of defecating in a city park. According to a release, multiple reports were made to the Stoughton Police Department from residents using the park who found human feces and used toilet paper. Well, at least she used toilet paper.
But I mean, at least she wiped. It's better than the lady who pooped in the beer thing.
The beer cave, yes. Yeah.
Yeah, she didn't even wipe.
Right. She just tried to drop a clean one and then off she
Like,
went.
you're disgusting, and then you're extra disgusting for that.
Yeah. The department set up trail cameras and was able to establish a pattern of someone who was defecating in the park during the early morning hours. After the pattern was established, a drone operator used a drone on Thursday morning to record the suspected person in the act of defecating in the park. Police made contact with and cited the 46-year-old woman for indecent conduct. No other information is available.
Wow. Like, why?
Well, you know, everyone's got to go sometime. Everybody poops,
Yeah.
Jess. Everybody poops.
Everybody poops, but not in the public park, Tim. Not everybody does that.
That's right. Not everybody does that. Some people want to get to be part of that back to nature movement. She just did a back to nature movement. That's
I
it.
guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Our final story today, Jess. I told you that there was a monster at the end of the book today
Oh, yes.
when it came to crimes of passion. Here's your monster at the end of the book.
I hope it's a funny one.
Well, maybe for you, but not for me.
Oh.
This is my monster at the end of the book.
Oh, no.
Do you remember the Boppets?
Oh, no. Did it happen again, Tim?
Maybe.
Somebody chopped off a pee-pee? Oh, this is going to be hard to read, isn't it, buddy?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You can do it. You're a professional.
I'm going to try. The headline is: an angry wife cuts off her husband's manhood and flushes it down the toilet after she suspects he was cheating.
Wow. So they're not going to find it and be able to reattach it. He's just bye-bye.
Yeah.
Oh.
She gave it
I mean, at least.
she gave it a funeral like a goldfish.
Oh.
That's not an all. That's a ah. That's what that is.
It's so weird.
I mean, did she name it before she flushed it?
Do you think she said a few words?
God, I hope so.
You were a good little friend.
For what it was worth. I mean, you know, if she was that intimate with it, I would hope she would have.
Right.
A vengeful wife took matters into her own hands. Then it left her hands and went down the toilet. When she suspected her husband was having an affair, slicing off the man's genitals and flushing them down the toilet, according to RadarOnline.com. However, the victim stood by his wife and asked the court to cut her some slack while sentencing her.
What?
He's a forgiving soul.
She chopped off his penis and he wants them to cut her slack.
Yeah.
He's a keeper. There is nothing you can do wrong. You should never let that man go.
There's such a word as codependency, and this man has crossed that threshold.
I guess. That is crazy. We needed to talk to him before this happened. The first sign of abuse, you need to leave.
What's the line from DMX? I love my baby mama. I never let her go.
Not even if she chopped my penis off and flushed it down the toilet.
Yeah, right.
That's a line that you just don't remember, but it was in there.
It was in there, I think. According to local reports, a 50-year-old man drinking alone at a coffee shop in South Korea fell asleep. That's when his 58-year-old wife and her 40-year-old son-in-law rushed in and tied him up with a rope and industrial tape.
Oh my gosh. She had her son helping her?
Son-in-law. There was an accomplice.
I was trying to do the math for a minute. I was like, he was 48 and she was 58. That doesn't work. Wow.
Son-in-law. So daughter's husband. So who the F are you to help?
That's crazy. I wonder if he knew she was going to chop his stuff off.
Mm-hmm. The woman then stabbed her husband around 50 times. So she got a few in before.
And he is still alive.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Before using a sharp weapon to sever his manhood, pilfer his package, and flush it down the cafe toilet. Also severing the possibility of surgical reattachment.
Aww.
Emergency responders later found the man and rushed him to the hospital where he underwent surgery and survived, although he was left with lasting physical and psychological injuries.
Well, that goes without saying.
Right. Before her formal sentencing last week, the husband asked the court to not go hard on her, and his plea for leniency was apparently taken into account when she was given 7 years in prison. Her son-in-law was jailed for 4 years for his role.
That is not enough. I mean, that's attempted murder. Stabbed 50 times.
Yeah. And
she wanted him to be dead.
I don't know what you're saying, attempted murder. The little guy was murdered and thrown in the toilet and given a water burial. I mean, that's murder.
There was a murder. Yes, I agree. You know, but sometimes you name those things, you get emotionally tied there.
Yeah, I bet you he did. He named it. That's a murder.
I agree. It's a murder.
That's a murder.
Like, she's crazy. Like, beside the fact that she did something to him, like, what's going to make her break next time? Who else's penis is she going to chop off and flush down the toilet?
Her jailer? I mean, you know.
She's, how many years? You said 7? That is not enough.
No. Mm-mm.
She's 58. She's going to get out and still have enough energy to do crazy stuff.
Oh, yeah. At 65, you know, you don't have carpal tunnel yet. She still can swim. Yeah. Yep.
Wow. That is a story.
For palate cleanser today. I don't know that there's much relief for the palate cleanser, but you think your life is bad. At least you're not this guy. You ready for this?
Yes.
Let me see if I can zoom in the picture here. At least you're not this guy.
Oh no, he is Epstein's doppelganger. I would be, I don't know, changing my hair color at minimum.
Right. That's right. Jess just said it. This guy, this poor guy, is a man who looks like Jeffrey Epstein and says his life is a misery.
No kidding. He needs to get like dreadlocks or something. Like, he just needs to change his appearance completely.
A man with a resemblance to Jeffrey Epstein says his life has been made a misery because people repeatedly mistake him for the pedophile.
I mean, the guy's dead, so those people are stupid.
Or is he? Let's go the conspiracy route. Some people think
that's true.
Now, okay, so I'm going to throw the conspiracy theory in the water here and then just let it lay, okay?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
On the day that Jeffrey Epstein was announced that he had hung himself in a cell, there was an odd video that you can't find anywhere. And I remember seeing it on television. There were 2 bodies that were taken out of the cell at the same time. One was, and there were 2 ambulances as well that were taken away from the prison. One was taken in one direction, one was taken in another.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
That whole thing.
Yeah, it's so the idea is, I think, according to conspiracy theorists, that Epstein's still alive.
Well, we just found him.
And of course, you've got, we just found him. And that maybe with the missing tape, that supposedly is not there, that authorities now say, no, we have it. We just, it was just a blank spot in the tape that we've got pictures and everything of his body and we did an autopsy and everything and blah, 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 blah. I don't buy it.
I don't. Yeah, it's all so crazy. I mean, I remember back, not that I want to get into this topic, but I remember back when people were talking about Pizzagate and that they were ordering children like pizzas. And then you find out like there really was this pedophile ring. Like the conspiracy theory sounded so crazy. And now the reality is like, oh my God, it's even crazier. It's so crazy. Anyway, okay, well, this poor man, that's terrible.
I won't get any further into, for reasons, I won't get any further into the conspiracy. But I'll just say.
Yeah, we don't want to get too deep in that because somehow it's become a political topic. Yeah, we're not here for that.
Right. You just go follow it. You go follow it on your own. But Turkish man, 55-year-old Rifat Özdemir, has spoken out after a series of insulting comments saying he looks like Jeffrey Epstein in Kayseri, central Turkey. He described
a good place for him to hide.
That would be, wouldn't it? He described himself as an ordinary, hardworking man and said he was shocked when he became the target of an uncomfortable stare or stares and remarks in public. People began saying he resembled the disgraced American billionaire who was jailed on child sexual abuse charges and was later found dead in prison. Now, again, my iPad is like, don't read any further. I'm trying to get the story to scroll forward here.
Your iPad's been so abused.
It has.
Like all the stories you read from it.
It's just like, no more. No more, sir. We've had enough. But this guy has been ridiculed. Here we go. Has been ridiculed. Rifat said the resemblance was first pointed out by his nephew, who told him he looked like Epstein, a name he said he did not recognize at the time. He wasn't familiar.
Oh, gosh.
So he was like, what's an Epstein? Right. After researching who Epstein was through news reports and social media, but I mean, just imagine that your nephew tells you that we got this sex offender and this sex offender and billionaire in America that looks just like you, Uncle. I think it's you. You look just like him.
Oh, it's terrible. He really does, though.
I mean, the only thing that's left is to just go claim his millions and billions. But most of the Epstein stuff has been sold.
Yeah.
A lot of his estates, but he still has a living brother who's claiming a lot of the money.
Really?
Mm-hmm. That's why I go look it up.
How would you want to buy any of his old houses and stuff? Like, who would want to live there? Well, again, like the Olive Garden, just bulldoze it.
There's one of his properties. Actually, I was watching this weekend, or I was keeping an eye on it this weekend. There's an apartment of his in Paris that is essentially condemned. Like the French government was like, okay, you can buy the property, but it will sit. Like it doesn't do anything.
Yeah.
And I don't remember who bought it, but they don't allow anything to go in it. But it's a gorgeous apartment. It was remodeled. The entire thing was remodeled, but nothing's done with it. Nobody lives in it.
The energy of it would be horrible.
Right. But just to get rid of it, I think was the idea, just to get it off the market. So nobody would own it.
Nobody would buy it.
Well, I think there's a private buyer for it. but the idea was to keep it off the market, keep anybody from exploiting it, keep anybody from making a profit off of the horrendous things that happened there, because that was the main hub of Central European sex trafficking that happened, was in that flat in Paris. But they just took it off the market. So Rifat said that the resemblance was first pointed out by his nephew, who told him he looked like Epstein, a name that he said he didn't recognize at the time. After researching who Epstein was through news reports and social media, Rifat said he was deeply upset, didn't want to be associated with him in any way. He says people gave him harsh and judgmental looks as he walked down the street, adding that hearing people say he looked like Epstein left him distressed and uncomfortable. Rifat said he being compared to such a figure had negatively affected his daily life and state of mind. In an effort to distance himself from the resemblance, he said he planned to change his lifestyle, grow a beard, despite never having worn one before. But if you remember, Epstein grew stubble.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd grow the biggest beard I could grow.
Right.
It'd be like a lumberjack.
Right. Rifat said he would make every possible change to his appearance to avoid being associated with Epstein, even though he believed his facial lines and expression closely resembled his. And here's a picture of Epstein with his stubble. I mean, if you remember, he had kind of a half beard at one time.
Yeah. Oh, he's such a puke. I can barely look at that.
Yeah. I mean, it would be hard even to grow a beard and not look like him.
I mean, this is a case for face tattoos.
Yeah, right.
Usually I don't think they make a lot of sense. In this case, ink it up, brother.
That's right. Ink it up, brother. He appealed to the public in a statement over the weekend not to compare him to Epstein, stressing that he had no connection to him and adding that such figures did not come from Kayseri, in other words, from Turkey. Pressure is still mounting from the U.S. to release more of the files. The current release is just around half of what the DOJ has in its possession. Initial estimates believe it could take 8 years to review and disclose the remaining files, even with the hundreds of attorneys that are working on the release currently. But yeah, there's a guy out there who's a spitting image.
Poor guy.
Right? So you think your life is bad?
Worst. Yeah. You could look like Epstein.
You could look like Jeffrey Epstein.
And
be mistaken for. So count your blessings.
That's right.
Yeah.
Glass half full.
Glass half full. That's for sure. All right. With that, what do you got going on in your world, Jess?
Well, I just have one event coming up, the Young Writers and Artists Conference on March 3rd and 4th. That's in Mankato. I have a link for it on my website if anybody has children who'd like to go. I think it's like grades 5 through 8.
Oh, all right.
Yeah.
Reminder that you've got True Crime Tuesday swag up now in the shop, right? We're working. So again, darknessradioshow.com. Go to the store. You've got T-shirts, hoodies. You've got mugs. You've got much, much more there. True Crime Tuesday merchandise, first time ever. So go ahead and go get your merchandise right now. We're working on an update for the Darkness Radio Apple app. So look for that. That's coming shortly. What else? I think that's about it for right now. Tomorrow on the big program, Supernatural News, Mally Fox, and Thursday, an old friend stops by and we'll be dabbling. How should I put this? We'll be dabbling a little bit with the Ouija board on Valentine's Day.
Conjure some love.
With an old friend. So, yeah.
It'll be a good one.
So that is the week here on Darkness Radio. That'll do it for today. So, Jess, thank you so much for being with us today and for participating in our Crimes of Passion.
Always my pleasure.
Thank you so much. So for Jessica Freeburg, I'm Tim Dennis. Thank you so much, folks. Again, we love you. We appreciate you. Thank you so much for continuing to listen and watch this program. Again, if you're listening to the program and not watching it, go to YouTube, the original Darkness Radio, or watch it on darknessradioshow.com. Rate and review if you would, and like and subscribe as well. We'll see you tomorrow for Supernatural News with Mally Fox. For Jessica Freeburg, I'm Tim Dennis. Thank you so much for tuning in to the best in true crime podcasting. This is True Crime Tuesday.